Yeah. Read the topics out loud. Read them just like that, the same way you just did it.
Are we live?
Yeah. Are we live?
Hello,
Cool,
are
cool,
we
cool.
live? Is
Hello. Can
everyone?
somebody,
Can anyone tell us that we're up live right now?
please, somebody,
Um,
tell us.
the current topics, everyone, are current PSA fuck shit, classics graph. We have a
Hmm.
potential guest, general nuance, and IG shill. Oh,
It's
and black
lit. Oof. Spoilers.
and ending off on everything's fine
Everything is fine. What's up,
in the world.
Smithers? How are you, man? How are you?
Well, it was a busy day today. Chopped through it. Still probably have 3 hours of work left to do, plus a bunch of cars to list. But yeah, we're happy to be live with the homie and everyone in chat. What about you?
Same, dude. Same. Credit cards were screaming. So you know me, I had to list. It's something
Mm-hmm.
I've been neglecting for a long time, but I actually had to list widgets today. Um, and I forgot I'm a demon at listing widgets. Dude, I listed like 100 widgets, no problem. I just gotta get myself to do it.
Yeah,
So
but what about all the dark messages you were sending me about how you might not be able to carry on, or the the soul gets drained when listing, and there was other messages I can't read off the top of my head, but I'm sure
yeah.
everyone here can get the gist.
Well, I think you just gotta take breaks. Like if you're doing like some, repetitive work, you just gotta give yourself 10 minutes every like 30 minutes. Just give yourself 10 minutes, message the homie, maybe hit a couple of F5s,
Mm,
maybe send a cat meme to Thrifty, and then go back to work. You get what I'm saying? Like you
yeah,
gotta give yourself a little break, because if not, you're like 2 hours in, you have back pain, and it's like it's not it, dude. But
I feel the back pain, dude. The older I get, the harder it is to list. Your back
bro,
just starts hurting. You start thinking about what else you got to get done. You're just like, what's going on in
bro,
life
you
right
actually gave me some good advice, because you have like a really comfortable computer chair, and you
now?
told me like I spent up for this chair because I'm spending so much time on it. And it went literally in one ear and out the same ear. It didn't even cross through.
It didn't even touch a brain
It
cell.
didn't do any touch to the brain cells. So what I did was I got like a budget chair, thinking I'm smart,
Mm.
thinking I'm being smart, and I'm not, dude. I got I got back pain, dude. It ain't it. I
Well,
should have spent up 350, 450, 550, 650, dude, on some heavy duty spaceship chair, dude.
mm-hmm. Yeah, the only people that think you're smart right now are the budget chair company. Um, but yeah, I
Bro, what
mean,
are
I'm 220 pounds, and every chair $200 and under I've ever been in dies in 6 months or less. So I finally spent. I think it was there was like a sale going on. I think these chairs, what are they called? Secret Lab. Shout out Secret Lab. They're like gaming chairs, but they're built for gamers. 250 pounds plus. So we spin on a big boy chair, and it feels the same as it did a year ago. Pause. So yeah, great investment. I think if you're sitting down a lot, you need to invest on what you're sitting down on. Same thing if you're on a computer a lot. You got to buy a good computer, right? You don't want one that's dropping tabs and can't load a Google sheet, or we got shit to do.
didn't you just buy a new computer?
I did. I did.
Nice, dude. Congrats, bro. It's always nice to get a new computer and like, woo, that CPU full.
It's like a like probably a foot and a half by long, like 3.5, 2.5 tall. Doesn't make a single noise. It's crazy. I started off, it turns up instantly. Turns up instantly, dude, just like you at the party.
I turn up immediately, bro. I'm like
Mhm.
Beckett 2 day FedEx tracking immediately. Speaking of Beckett, piece of shit,
Mhm.
a term with, by the way, you coined that term. Um,
Mhm. Nobody knows though.
You submitted to Beckett today, didn't
Yes.
you?
Yep.
How did that feel?
It felt like going back to my ex that like, she was great, you know, I don't know, like it's like one of those exes that like, great in bed, but then like sometimes just like you're trying to have fun and they're just on their phone, just like really off and on type of ex. Like sometimes,
Mm,
they're giving you black labels and sometimes they're giving you 9 centering grades on cards you measured. Um, so yeah, and recently we did a graded card review and raw card review at the Collecticon, and everyone agreed Beckett piece of shit because everyone got 9.5s and spent 20 to see them tell them that their card is a 9.5. So yeah, I sent to them today 7 cards, just a little text back to the ex, like what's up. Didn't want to, full send it.
just what's up?
I didn't want
What's
to say I
up?
love you, I'm back, like let's get together. No, 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 no. I'm just trying to see what's up. If they'll even answer the message. Um,
Beckett, to me, no, all kidding aside, okay? Not being funny. This is a serious podcast. We're very serious.
Incredibly.
Beckett has the worst customer service, website, and grading standards.
Hmm.
Also, let me get my bars off.
Mm-hmm.
Also, though, greatest company of all time.
All time. Yep. How does that happen?
Well, because dude, they're like a casino. They are exactly like a casino. You see, a casino will give you a promotion for being in the casino, and people
Mm-hmm.
win $1,000, and they're like, "Oh, I'm smart. I was at the right place." But they're
Right.
just paying you back the money you already gave them to pay them more than they gave you, fool. It's genius.
It is
Beckett
genius.
Beckett's like, "Hey, Jake Smith, we'll review your cards for 25, fool. You might get a black label, or you might just lose 25 relentless,
Mm. It's
just
been
like the
like that.
casino. It's
Yeah.
dark.
I've been losing at the casino, dude.
Well,
It's been
some
dark.
of us have been winning at the casino.
Oh, you have something to share with the class?
I won at the Beckett Casino, and I am the proud owner of a black label.
Mm. Claps in the chat. Claps. Good job. You did it. You checked the
Thank you.
centering. Yep.
For the hundreds and hundreds of 9.5s that I received on guaranteed PSA 10,
Mm-hmm.
I finally got my little $1,000 slab.
Mm.
I am a genius.
You did it, dude. It was all planned out.
One of the
You knew.
smartest, one of the smartest people in the hobby, dude. Guaranteed. I mean,
Can't argue against it, honestly. You just created a black label.
results don't lie, you feel me? But speaking of results,
Hmm.
let's talk about this graph real quick that Pokemon Classics published, dude, because this got me hot on all sorts of levels.
Should
Let's
we
tap
say
into
hi to the
this.
chat first? Make sure we're live.
Oh, are we live? Is my mic on?
Oh
All right,
yeah,
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 let's read some
yeah.
comments. Let's read some comments. All right. All right, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, just give it a little slowdown. Let people tune out real quick. Um, we got Charby from Bangladesh.
Oh, hey,
What's up,
Charles.
Charby? Yeah.
Hey, welcome, dude.
Cass Collectibles, the homie from Austin, showing up. Was good.
Hey, it's lit.
Yep.
E-Unit in the house. Okay. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Budget share is a trade binder.
What does that mean? What does it even mean?
I guess it's just like it's a trigger,
Hmm.
maybe. I just saw
Okay.
2 terms I just don't like in the same comment. That's kind of
Okay.
how I took it.
Here we go. Pikachu wants to know if Rock Pokemon was graded, what grade would each of you give him? You go
Mm,
ahead. That's your friend, not mine. Go ahead.
it depends on what company. I'd have to know what company.
PSA, Big Dog.
Well, I think PSA 10 easily. I mean, I'd give you a PSA 10 because I mean, What are we doing
Anyone.
at
Yeah,
PSA? I
anyone.
mean,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
I'm getting
PSA.
paid 15 an hour to I just glanced at you and I just like, whoa, 10.
Yeah.
My marriage is going really well. Kids are happy. Paying the mortgage down really fast. You're a 10. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, as much as it pains me to give a homie a compliment, I'm gonna go I'm gonna go Gem Mint 9.5. And let me tell you why.
hmm.
Because it's even lower pop than the 10.
Yee!
Rock
Heard it here,
Pokemon,
folks. Heard it
you're
here.
the god, bro. You're the GOAT. Okay, let's move on. Next comment. All right. What's going on? Beckett is garbage, but I'm sending my One Piece promo from PSA to them to try for a black label.
Hmm.
Whew.
Be interesting to see what happens to that. I mean, good luck pulling the lever for the slot machine.
Cass Collectible says, she abuses me, but I keep going back.
Why is that? Remember what I told you? I'm never subbing to Beckett again, and now I just sent out, the text.
Pete
You dare?
says, Beckett is about to leave you on red and post a story at the club later.
Yeah, yeah. I already feel that. Just having to navigate her website. It's just whenever you're typing in
Dude,
to submit, the top thing that's at the front of the sub goes to the bottom. Like it starts scrolling this
yeah.
way instead of PSA where it's like, here's your first, second, third card. Beckett, I gotta scroll all the way down, up and down to make sure everything's in order.
And by the way, this is a live chat. We didn't pay these people to say these comments. This
No.
is literally the community live telling you their thoughts on why Becky is in fact piece of shit.
Mm,
Okay,
mm-hmm,
while also in addition to that being the greatest company on the market.
mm-hmm. Incredible. Should we hit that graph?
All right, yeah, let's hit this graph, big dog, because I got a
We got,
ton to catch.
we got an interesting graph for you all.
All right, so basically, there's a pillar in the hobby. His name is
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon Classics. The
Classics never
man,
die.
the man, all he's doing is his part to make collector content while also being instructive and giving a little bit of nuance. And I can't be mad at that. Okay. We got to listen to the pillars. This pillar today hit us with some math. Now, although we like to pretend we don't like math, this shit is all about math. Literally, we should be called the Math Boys TV because all we do is math. My entire life is math.
Mm-hmm.
So let's look at this graph real quick. If I understood correctly, Jake Smith,
Mm-hmm.
he is saying that this graph that you see in front of you, okay,
Yep.
is the bubble graph. And when you compare it to the Pokemon cards that I'll show you in a second, they're literally exactly the same. All
They're
right. So
exactly the same as this one.
I just want you to take a look at this graph, and then I'm going to show another one, and you tell me if you see any similarities. Okay.
So
Ready?
this graph, hold on, this graph real quick was made by thetechnicaltraders.com.
Yeah, but it's like a template of something. You can get this graph on like the
Yeah,
internet
yeah,
or
it's like
whatever.
everywhere, right? This is the one where it's like, oh, I'm super hopeful. My investment's going up. Oh my God, I was right. I'm literally a god. We're partying. Oh my God, we're on
We're
drugs. We're
printing. We're
we're
printing.
we're buying multiple houses. We're like just going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Now you get up there to the complacency where you're just like, you know what? We printed. We're good. I hope this goes on for as long as possible
Mm-hmm. I
because
remember
we are
here, bud.
still printing.
Yep. And then.
Oh my God. I had my worst sales day in the past month today. Oh, there's no way. I mean, I invested in gold stars. I invested in the top altarts. I've invested in first ed Chari, base set, PSA 10. I invested in
Basically.
all the greatest Pokemon cards.
Mm-hmm.
Will they come back? I just
Mm-hmm.
lost my ass on 80%.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I'm freaking out. I got to sell my Chari for 200K. I bought it for 500K. What was I doing? I got to get my money back.
Yeah. I
And
gotta
then
mitigate the L.
yeah, and then oh, there's even anger. There's anger here too.
Mm-hmm.
God, it's not my fault. I'm so
Mm-hmm.
pissed off. The people don't see the value of first ed base set, dude. They don't see the value of WotC cards. These are the first English Pokemon cards ever printed. I'm pissed. Why is no one buying? Why is everyone buying Moonbreon when there's a Pop 50 Chari that everyone knows about? I'm
Mm-hmm.
angry. And then you go into
Honestly,
depression and
the
disbelief. How long does that part go on for?
depression could. I mean, you can potentially never cure it. If you lose hard enough. Um, But I mean, that was awesome, by the way. Thank you for that. My whole thing though is this:
Mm-hmm.
is this a graph of my 90 day over the last 2 years?
There's arguments to be made. I
You,
mean,
you
it
can
looks exactly the same.
looks exactly the same. I'm right here. I'm in despair.
Yeah. This right here, that was 2023.
This is
Utter.
where I'm at right now. Okay, so now let me show you the Charizard graph.
Mhm. Show me the
They
chart.
said Charizard graph. Now just visually look at this graph, and I'll look at this graph.
Whoa.
Big dog. Pokemon
What?
Classics is the hobby Einstein, dude. He put it in visual terms.
Literally the exact same. Did they take and make that graph off of this one?
I don't know. I think these are just the sales.
These are all the sales, and it like
Yes.
perfectly mimics
Yes. And
the
look at
graph
look
we
at
just
look
saw.
at look at Dark Charizard.
Whoa.
It's the same thing. Even the little step up. Look at the little step up right before. Look. Right here. Bing bong.
Whoa. The hope step up. Hope and
The
optimism
hope
step up. Whoa.
is dark.
I like how between euphoria and complacency, there's a little dip and it pops back up.
Hmm.
Very interesting. It's like a lot of what these cards did.
So I guess a couple questions I got for you. There's a reason I show you this graph and everybody here the graph. The question for you is it a good time to buy? Okay. Instead of looking at it negatively, is it a good time to maybe buy? Maybe some grails shouldn't be like raw price for a 9. I don't know. Just
I mean,
maybe a PSA 10 shouldn't be $70. I don't know. What do you
it's,
think?
it's a lot of good I don't know points you got there. This classic said it's probably maybe potentially a good time to buy because of the graph, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I think there's arguments to be made that now is a good time to buy. There's definitely arguments to be made against it. And see, what I've always thought is like the Pokemon market is very much held up by demand, and supply just is just kind of there. And depending on how big that demand is, just determines how fast the supply gets gone through. But the problem with Pokemon cards too is the supply can fill up really fast or dry up really quickly. There's really no way to tell unless you're a market savant. Are we live? And I think that it's important to be in the market for a while before you buy. That's my main point. Because if you don't know what sells and what doesn't sell, do you really know what to buy in
Mm,
relation to the graph? Because there's a lot of people buying all the time, just what they like. But if you want to take control of the graph aspect, it's kind of good to know what you're buying, how much demand is behind it, and what your idea of the supply potentially is out there.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, also how I mean, dude, the graph is an exact replica. It's almost like, you know what it made me think about? Like everything's just been done before. Like this is just all a loop. It's an endless cycle. Like it's like maybe I don't know, Beanie Babies or stocks or whatever, something else that people were trading and trying to hold or hoard or whatever, probably went through this exact same thing to the exact T on the data point. Like, doesn't that? doesn't that make you feel like it's all a bag? Um, and doesn't it make you feel like what a great man once told me? Sell card while people want to hold card.
Hmm. That's a
I
really
heard
inspirational quote. You can kind of put anything in any market in there.
it's one of
Buy and sell stock while people want to buy, sell stock. Buy, sell cheeseburgers when people want to eat cheeseburgers.
I can make you the mathematical argument that this is a really good time to buy. Look at the graph, big dog. Look how far we are from the peak. And we're not that far. We're like we doubled from like 2016, you know?
I mean, there is some sort of positive, like, I mean, this is probably the best card to look at when monitoring the market
Hmm.
because there's so much of it. It's probably arguably the highest in demand card just based on daily sales, daily posts on social media, all the interaction it gets. Everyone
But
knows
look,
everyone had it.
but look at this one. Look, this is PSA 8 Shadowless Charizard.
Hmm.
This has been around 2K for a long time. And if I was gonna buy one, I thought like this was the best value, I guess, because it's only 2K. That's like raw price. Bro, literally the exact like or very similar graph. Um, Random spike up data points, whatever. It could be
Yeah,
show
random
bid.
anomalies. But like
Yeah, you can't.
those random anomalies don't usually happen with the base set Charizard because there's so many.
Hmm.
Like this one, there could be automatically, oh, there's none left in the supply. The three eights that were on eBay got bought up in the last month. Oh, they're all gone. And then the next one that gets on, oh, it goes for double the price. And then people see, oh, it's double the price. I'm selling mine. And then there's eight on the market. So that's also the problem with cards and, relating them to the graph is because they're unregistered assets. No one really knows the true amount still ungraded. No one really knows the true amount of the ones that are graded because so many PSA 8s get cracked to try to get nines or, nines to tens. So it's like you don't really know the true population of the stuff out there. But like the base set Charizard, like if you go back to that one, um, you can see recently it was going underneath $1,000 quite frequently, and then recently is starting to like 1,000 is the floor. So there's some sort of like small but positive correlation there. Can you go to the base set one?
Yeah. What a great video. What a thought-provoking video.
He's in the way of the part of the graph I wanted to show.
Hmm.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, it's a PSA 8, but what's your point? Like, what is it? What are you trying to tell me?
There's definitely a dip. I was looking at the PSA 9 graph.
Hmm. I think I
Uh,
have it here. I think it's this one.
yeah. So you see that's the $1,000 line,
Yeah.
and up until I don't even know the point, but you see there's a drop down after the euphoria that pings off 1,000 all the way to the left.
Oh, right here.
Nope. Yeah, that.
Oh, right here.
So no, that middle one. Yeah.
Right
So
here.
the one after the euphoria.
Oh, copy. Okay, so where's the
Yeah. So
euphoria?
after it fell all the way down, you see that one little dip that pinged on 1,000, and
Uh-huh.
then it hops back up again
Uh-huh.
over 2,000. Then it
Yeah.
drops all the way down. It looks like 1,000 is like basically what people are valuing this at. But
Mm-hmm.
starting there after that first ping, so the one to
Uh-huh.
the right of where your cursor
Yeah, right
is,
here.
and then go down. Yeah, right there, starting right there is the first time we're seeing it under 1,000 since before the euphoria. And you
Copy.
see it's showing strength there and it's popping
Yeah.
up and down.
It insta pops again because people can't believe it's that cheap, I guess.
Yeah, so a bunch get bought up and then it keeps popping down. But then if you go towards the end of the graph, there's a place recently where his arrow is where it's not going under 1,000. So it
Mm-hmm.
rose back up and the 1,000 is just the floor for whatever time period that is. So we are potentially, in a
I mean,
position where it's not a stock, but it is showing strength at 1,000.
all right, we're gonna go ahead and answer this question, and then we're gonna move on because we also don't want to be here all day, respectfully to Jake Smith and your time and everything. But
It's very important. Thank you.
here's the thing. All right, all that matters is demand, since we can't quantify quantity, Mr. Walrus. What do you think about that?
I used to think this, but I mean, I still do kind of think this, but this is kind of like this argument collapses in on itself because when there's so much demand for something consistently, there gets to a point where it doesn't matter what quantity is during that moment. And like this whole span is made up of tons of different moments where this same card is being auctioned, but all that matters is each sale at that moment. So like in my mind, like, yeah, long term, quantity does matter more because you don't know how many are going to be dumped on the market to make up for maybe a high sale. But really all that matters is demand and the amount of eyes on it and what the last sale is and what people are valuing it at. So it's like for me to wrap that up, it's like quantity only matters when you're looking at a longer period of time, if that makes sense. Like right now is the here and now. What is the demand of that card right now? And it's like this graph shows all the demand and sales before now. But where we're sitting at right now, nobody knows the future and nobody knows the quantity. So really all that matters is demand, which is what you said. But then you add back in the quantity aspect and that starts working against what your entire argument is. So it's not like a very straightforward way of it's a very straightforward way of thinking, I guess is what I'm saying, but nothing is that straightforward.
All right, we're gonna interrupt this Jake Smith rant to bring you our first guest, Jackson. What do you think about all these graphs? What's going on?
What's up, Jackson?
Hello. Yeah,
Hello.
that's an interesting question. What I notice, it goes up, it goes down, and then goes like this. If I were to analyze this, I would say that the line stopped going down. Therefore, it has to go up eventually. Thank you.
Great point.
Look, it's not looking bright right now. If you look at the graph, this is not the best time to sell cards. That's all I'm seeing, dude. And according to the pillars, they say that this is where the going gets tough and the non-tough get going or whatever. This is where everyone drops off from flipping because the margins are so small. Because look at the graph. It's damn near 2016 up in here, man. Bro, I just sold a PSA 9 for $17. It was a hollow. All right. It's not great.
I sold a 10 for less than 15. Shouldn't have graded that.
So what's up? What's up, Jackson? What are you doing here, man? What's going on over in your life, bro? What's goody?
Oh, a lot's going on. We got work's real busy. What else? We've been hitting the pool as of late. It's nice and hot out, nice and sunny. So we hitting the pool. That's pretty much it, bro. Yeah.
Notice he's not doing any card thing, Jake Smith. It's not a good time. It's a good time to buy, dude.
Yeah, all I do is buy. I just open up my little boop boop.
You just
come to
boop,
my door.
Boop, boop.
Come to my door, order delivered USPS. Good day, good night. Put it in my closet.
Very nice. And what do you do anything with it inside your closet, or do you take it out of the closet?
That's a cool question. Usually I wrap it in plastic. So a pretty tight plastic wrap that rivals rubber, I would say.
Keeps it secure. Keeps it safe.
Usually I lock it in a box in the bottom of my closet as well. It's made out of metal, so it's really secure.
And does that have a code on there to keep people out?
It's confidential at this time.
Oh, I was gonna say I'd Venmo you to put it in the chat, but sorry guys, we're not doing a giveaway today. It's too bad.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Stuff seems super cheap. PSA 9s are basically raw prices. And for some cards, that doesn't really make sense. But for other cards, raw price for near mint, no hassle, no scratches, no gambling. It seems pretty good. Man, I don't know.
We can pull up what was the other topic you wanted to talk about? The let's see.
The PSA fuck shit.
PSA fuck shit. Yeah, I think that kind of ties in with this. Like, do you think all the PSA fuck shit makes PSA 9s even more valuable and make them even more undervalued? Because I've been nining some black labels, dude. And if I'm like hurting for money, I'll sell it and keep it pushing, right? That's what everyone says. Keep it pushing. So there's a bunch of people selling 9s that should have gotten 10s. What are we doing?
Well, doesn't like the premium on a Beckett 10 pristine and the premium on a black label come as a consequence of like inconsistency at PSA, right? Like because PSA is so inconsistent, people want a super 10, right? Because they know like PSA 10 ain't shit, and they know PSA 9 super ain't shit. But then people like us also know that there's PSA 9s that are 10s. So PSA 9s are the best value if you get the right 9. And PSA 10 is almost never the best value because you're either going to get a weak 10 or a regular 10 that's overpriced. Super yawn. I'm falling asleep as I literally speak. But I think the black label premium is a consequence of PSA's fuck shit. That's what I think.
Yeah,
I think that's true. I mean, I think it is also a result of like, you know, the issue with grading is that PSA, like they have variances that they operate within, right? Like they can allow up to 60/40. You know, if they had a strict, it needs to be pixel by pixel, perfect centering to be a 10. I don't think there would be a black label premium, but that's not their standard, right? And so it's, you know, it's just dummies paying up for, you know, the subgrades. And honestly, like, you know, I would like some Beckett graders to take an eye exam because I mean, some of those black labels, I mean, good night, you know.
Yeah, they're PSA 9s in a black label case.
Absolutely.
But like I don't know, like I wasn't sending to Beckett for a long time, and I don't know if you heard Jackson, but me and Beckett, we've had a tumultuous relationship, some really high highs and really low lows. So I've just been sending all my cards to PSA, cards that could potentially black labeled. I don't know. I haven't texted her back till today, and some of those cards get 9s at PSA. So my entire business model now has a budget for cracking cards. It's like the same type of budget that Walmart sets for theft. It's like, oh, we got to spend, you know, 2 to 5% of all of our profit paying for the shit people are stealing. And that's what I'm feeling like right now.
So what do you think about this being the crack era?
You know, in all honesty, I think people forget that, you know, a PSA 9, you know, I regularly see, you know, demand for like, let's say, I don't know, a Paldean Fates Charizard PSA 9, right? You're not getting more than raw for that card because, you know, people realize, yeah, like the raw card you buy from tcgplayer.com/Jackson5.
Love to see it. You love the shameless
that
plug.
Card is about a 70% 10 rate. But in reality, if you get the 9 for a discount to the raw, that 9 is the raw near mint. That's above raw near mint condition. So I think we are in the crack era. I think we're in the era of grading company arbitrage for some items. I think we're also in the area where, some of these grading companies are hurting. You had CGC with their Omega Mystery Box. Like, their executives were hype as hell to report revenue went up 10 million% month over month.
Yeah.
And then 2 months later, it's back down to, just Beanie Babies and fucking One Piece. And so I think grading companies are getting desperate. I mean, you got tag grading over here, giving 10s to, damaged cards. You got CGC over here giving 8s and, gem mint 10s across the board for perfect modern cards. At the end of the day, they're shooting themselves in the foot.
Yep. I wonder how they can change it. Because it's like, I don't know. I feel like also so we're in the crack era, right? Where it's like everyone's doing crack because no one agrees with their grades. And I guess there's like 2 points of that. It's like we're in an era where you can buy 9s for less than raw of quality cards that are better than
raw
normal
should be
near mint.
Right.
And also we're in a crack era where there's so many people working at PSA and these companies now that your chances of getting someone who's brand new or doesn't know how to grade or just hasn't been called in for discipline because we haven't seen all the statistics on how they're grading yet, we as in management of the company. So there's so many people being hired. I'm sure the turnover is very high for this position because looking at 1,000 cards in a day, I can't even do 100 personally. And in fact, you're looking at 1,000, you're supposed to give these nuanced little grades. Your eyes are bleeding. You're not staying at that job very long, especially if it's not paying over $20 an hour. So we're in this era where there's so many employees that are grading incorrectly that it's like you should probably be trying to buy 9s because there's so many people still grading and there's so many new people grading the cards. We have to be in the crack era.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point you make. When I think about like what is the process of being a grader, how does it work to grade 1,000 cards a day, right? Or learn how to grade given like whatever standards. And I'm like, okay, how do they train these guys? They probably, either give them the cards and their standards and they say run with it and correct their grades to, what maybe a senior grader expects from whatever card given the parameters. But I think that all these companies, as they take on more and more graders, you're having humans train other humans in assessing condition. And if grading condition and standards is going one way, based on like all the senior graders, agreeing on like a really expensive card, I could absolutely see those standards push lower to those newer folks. If a senior grader has gotten a week's worth of cards and for some reason he got the stack that's $10,000 and he's really harsh on them, and then he gets the new guy that needs to test out 250 Weiss Schwartz commons, that guy's gonna really
that's a good point.
Grader to be harsher.
Yeah, and honestly, I definitely think about that. I've talked about it before. Like I try to put at the beginning of my sub the most minty sauce. Like if the sub starts out with, I don't know, man, a McDonald's Pikachu and a Shadowless Charizard and like a Lugia Crystal, the grader's hype has to get a little hype, or the grader might like the sheer value of the first cards, it might get given to that senior grader. Versus like if you start the sub and it's all like promo Charizard Black Star promos that are like $8, it's also psychologically like the dude's like, this is work. That's kind of how I look at it. I might be just thinking too much into it. It's probably completely useless information. But like if I was a grader, I'd be like, sick, like a McDonald's Pikachu. Like, man, this is a 10. And then it's like, you already 10 my vintage. You're not going to 10 my modern? Come on now. You 10 a 2002 Alakazam, you're not going to 10 a 2024 Paldean? So that's kind of, I mean, again, it's all bullshit, but
yeah, well, it's definitely like they're fighting the strain throughout the day, strain on their eyes, their brain. And it's got to be some sort of, like with any job, it's a logarithmic curve where you're going to be at the top of your game at the beginning of the day. Towards the end, you're getting sleepy, or it's all a blur. Like when you're vending at these card shows, you're interacting with people, you're like, dang, what did I just do? And I guarantee you these PSA graders, Beckett graders, etc., after a full day, they're like, what did I even grade today? Like it was just all, I was just pouring through cards. They told me to get 10 orders done today, and I got, 9 done. And I'm worried about, my boss being like, hey, what happened to the 10th order? And you're like, sorry, I had 200 cards in one of the orders, and it was Weiss, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, and he had some sports cards in there randomly. And it's like there's that, and then also we've all been at jobs. How do they train you? Like they guarantee you there's going to be a video. There's some sort of introduction video for a PSA employee. Hey, we do 60-40 on the centering, doing all this. There's a bunch of nuance that your higher up will teach you, and then I'm sure they get shadowed on the line once they get hired. There's someone looking over their shoulder being like, hey, no, you just put a 9 there. That's a 10. Like for this card in particular, we normally do this, and that. And they're going through, and who knows how long the shadowing lasts. So they're grading differently just from that aspect, someone looking over their shoulder. And then once they get let free, all hell is broken loose, or we're going to the pearly gates. Like you don't know what a human will do. Their manager doesn't even know what they're going to do once they leave.
I have a different opinion. I think. Go ahead, Ernie. You had.
Well, I just want to chime in on that before I forget. Like basically, real quick, I just think that the what you really want is a grader to look at each card individually, and I think a beginner grader will just make a over rationalization. Like with Rock Pokemon, just graded a Neo something pack, and all of the cards were slightly skewed, right? They were all slightly skewed, maybe 2 degrees to the right. And like, bro, he literally didn't get above a 9. So that grader just like blindly 9'd everything versus looking at a card as an individual thing every time, which is what I think consistent grading is.
He tends he or she tend several of the commons, the hollow of the pack 9'd. And I saw it in person. There was none of the classic Neo print lines. There was nothing. Yeah. Like this was a 10. I even saw a new 10 on Instagram the other day that had the exact same centering. And then it's like a 9, 9, 9, 10, 10, 10, 9, 9. And it's like, oh, there's the end of the pack. Just like all the same centering, all the same condition. So, yeah.
Yeah, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, I think about like the incentives that graders have. And, it's not the most glamorous job. You're not getting paid like corporate executive money. But, these people make a living, and they have opportunities for advancement to, being a senior grader, having overtime, possibilities where, maybe they can work a weekend, for, some reason. And, at the end of the day, you're working for a private corporation. And what is advancement? Like, why do you get advanced? It's because you're making the company more money, or you're doing better in some way. And so, I highly doubt that they've built the incentive structure to keep creators consistent. I would argue that they probably built the incentive structure to keep them fast. And, if that incentive structure is in place, through overtime or becoming a senior grader by doing so much, all it incentivizes is to grade faster. And, I'm sure there's people out there, depending on the number of them, statistically, someone's got to just be, throwing cards in a pile and assigning random grades. There's not someone in the industry doing that.
So you think it's because they opened that other spot and it's like a bunch of new graders, and do you really think that's the reason? Because like, I also think the inconsistencies favor them, because then it's like, oh, we messed up your order, send it back to us again for more money. It's like, it doesn't really.
There's genuinely no downside to, especially a company like PSA giving low grades. You're not going to stop using them. You need PSA grades, especially if you're a flipper. But CGC, CGC grades in Illustrator are 4. That's really bad for their business. People look at CGC and they go, ooh, maybe I can flip my Illustrator and get a higher grade with CGC because, whatever. I don't, I think it's just statistically possible if you have enough people involved in this industry that there's some aligning of moral hazard somewhere. And, I think it would be just erroneous to claim that that's just not happening. It's impossible. Now, is it extremely frequent? Probably not at all. But
what if it's connected? What if that graph we looked at earlier is connected to like PSA's fuck all laissez-faire attitude? Because like that's what you just said, right, Jackson? Like you need PSA because everything's so cheap anyway that people now want the PSA 10 only, basically.
Yeah.
Or the moonshot pristines. I know Walrus said he's been cooking with pristines. I'm not sending to CGC for now. I don't know. My mind is still open to it, but I think it might be connected because if everything is so cheap and so flatline, then it's a buyer's market. Then also PSA is like super fuck you to the flippers. Like take it or leave it or go somewhere else.
I mean,
which makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's why you see CGC, publishing different pricing grids every 2 months. If you see like total cards graded and like month by month, it's just, you can just see CGC's business model is towards massive dealers. It's not towards individuals. And
I mean, even PSA. I mean, I feel like nearly all of them are like that. Because like it's at the end of the day, it's about money. And if you have a company and someone comes up to you where your average orders are $150 to $1,000 or your average orders, and they're like, hey, you bring down your rate, here's $500K. Are you gonna be like, no, we're for the people, not for
real quick.
More than that, shit.
Don't want to interrupt you guys, but I did get a message from Coulson, the Dark Prince, that I thought I should share.
Okay.
I will put it on the screen. When I asked him about, is it a good time to buy? Here's what he had to say. All
right. Interesting. Yeah.
It says, ay, good time to buy. Next.
You heard it here, guys. This is one of the most experienced, what could I say, pillar, E-Series, destroyer,
That's what I'm saying, dude. It's a
ultimate
good time.
flipper. He's buying PC. I personally know Coulson's buying PC items right now. Flippers are buying for their closets. Is that what more of a buy sign is there? Is the people that are buying and selling are buying and holding? What's going on?
Yeah. Oh, speaking of PSA being super dusted, look at what I got. Look what I got in my last PSA sub, guys.
Hey, that's yo.
Cool. Do you notice anything interesting about this card?
Bro, you ain't even gotta say it.
Does anyone know what's wrong here?
All I'm saying is, Ernesto, your closet is being raided when I see you. Absolutely raided.
Mason Cardinal, hello. Look, bro, guys. Can anyone tell me what's wrong with this card? Anyone at all?
First off, it's Japanese. Second off,
can't read it.
I think that says Ponaita.
What's that thing on the left? Do you scan that, or what's going on that card?
Bro, this is one of the most beautiful arts in the hobby. Let me just pause on that and reflect on that. But let me ask y'all this: Is this a 9? Is this a 9? Like that much whitening? That's a 9 on a non-hollow? That's my question to y'all. That's all.
What are you asking for this?
Yeah,
whatever you offer, yes.
Interesting.
Also, isn't this from a trainer mag or something? Isn't this?
Yeah, it's from actually, I don't know where I put it, but I think it has like a Snorlax on the front or something. It's not like a Pokemon trainer mag, but it's like some sort of players magazine that had it in it.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think this is from Expedition.
Yeah,
It's not, but that's just how PSA. It should say trainer mag, like
it's a mislabel.
Yeah,
That's why I showed it. It's a mislabel, right?
Yeah, it's
No.
from, I think it's like the Volume 4 magazine or something like that.
Right, but why does it say Expedition?
Because PSA
Because they don't know how to label shit.
Yeah, they don't have like that. This is correctly labeled by PSA standards. Is
Also,
on it.
How could it be Expedition if it's unlimited PSA? Make that make sense. How can it be unlimited?
There is
from Expedition.
Unlimited.
You are dusted.
Yeah, the only Expedition cards that are unlimited was that like misprint deck with the Charizard and some other stuff in
Not true. Jokers. There's E1 Unlimited. It's extremely rare though. Like it is like the debatably.
Yeah, it's the misprint in the deck.
See, look, this is it. This is where it comes from right here. This thing, Trainer Mag.
Correct. Exactly. That's it.
Okay, but Expedition Trainer Mag. Okay. I guess okay. No, let's give PSA their props. They get it right a lot.
It's because they have the stamp of E1. That's why.
Yeah. It's gotta be Expedition.
It's not great, bro. It's not great. But yeah, I don't know. Let's keep it pushing. Let's see. Do we want to shill anything? No.
Yeah, I've heard 151 boxes are set to skyrocket, actually. Specifically Japanese 151 booster boxes with shrink.
Bro, I got a hot take for that, but I don't want to be that guy or whatever, but I don't know, man. You guys go ahead. What do you think about sealed 151? Go for it.
I think it's a great pickup right now if you're trying to do a short-term flip, but I mean, we're seeing a lot of stuff get reprinted that's 2 to 3 years old. So, what do you think your safety net is for one of the most popular sets of all time? If you're trying to hold long-term right now, and you think like right now is the best time to buy.
Historically, as a business,
okay,
how many times have in modern era, post-COVID hype where, expensive cards can sustain, fucking 4x raw in a 10, you got Moonbreons above 1,000. How many times in this era have booster boxes gone below $50?
True.
Well, nearly everything in the Scarlet and Violet block.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
Okay. I mean, I get it as a business. As a business, it's good. Like $50, you can sell stuff for 60 to 80 at shows. It makes sense all day long. But it's like a lot of the people that are saying, "Oh, this is going to go to the moon," all this stuff. Like all they do is they buy and they sit on it. But it's like, is it worth to buy and sit on it right now? If in theory, it keeps selling the way it's selling. Let's say cards start spiking again, and in 2 years, we're seeing, Charizard and Moonbreon position, and Pokemon's like, well, it looks like there's enough demand that we can reprint this set and keep printing. We keep making money off 151. It's the best thing we ever made.
Bro, I just
sell out immediately. So it's like buying at 50 right now, there could be an opportunity to buy at 50 2 or 3 years from now. You never know. So it's just all about your risk tolerance and what you think the probability of them doing another massive reprint in the future is.
Yeah, I think like, when thinking about stuff like this, not even like talking about 151, it's like you got to think of like what is known versus unknown, right? One reason I really like UPCs is that we know for a fact that the components and the manufacturing process for UPCs is so much more complicated than just a little box. Mm-hmm. Even a blister pack is more complicated then
I like that.
booster.
I like that logic. I'm with you.
You know, some of these molds cost hundreds of thousands for a new coin, a new, you know, a new pair of dice. You know, you have to change the chemistry, blah blah blah, and you know, especially with some of the products that come like really with complicated packaging. You know, I think back to the EV Heroes VMAX special box that was like kind of large. It was a plastic blister, and it had a ton of cool cards. It had kind of a VMAX promo pack in it. And, you know, those I think what we do know is just that it's really hard to manufacture. Now, does it cost them like $2 to manufacture? Sure, like in scale. But if they go back and they go, you know, instead of printing this next new Paldean Fates baby shiny set that everyone's gonna eat up, let's go reprint the, you know, random Mew UPC of a Charizard set when we're releasing another Charizard set in 2 months. Realistically, like, I think the probability of that is a bit lower.
I think that's a really good point. I think that's a really good point. I definitely think they'll reprint 151 personally. So that's why I'm not really in a rush.
Yeah, I think everything else is just noise. You know, we know the manufacturing process somewhat, and then we know, you know, how much people like the shit. If prices have been like steady for 6-9 months, that's what we know.
Yeah, I mean, there's other sets that came out 3 years ago that are getting reprinted, right? Like Lost Abyss, and the other one, what's it called? Paradigm Trigger and other stuff. And this came out years ago. If that's getting reprinted, I'm pretty sure they're gonna reprint their baby 151, the greatest set of all time. I just don't. I mean, that's not that much nuance, but that's kind of how.
I mean, there's also like an argument to be made that like for these boxes, these 151 boxes, get as cheap as they've gotten, the amount of demand that they had to overshoot for there to even be boxes available at this price, with the demand being the demand for 151, this could be a last hurrah in a way, where it's like they want to put everything in the files. They want to move on from 151. They've been printing it for nearly a year now. They just want to do one big dump because people are like, oh, it's shooting up too fast. For a month this year, there was hundreds of sales for 151 boxes at $180 to $200. Yeah. So obviously that's a sign to Pokemon that it's like, oh, there really isn't enough for players or collectors or anything like that. So let's print some more. And they're printing a lot too, to make people shut up about it. Like that's what it feels like to me. So, you know, it could be more cost effective to just do it all now, overdo it, and then just put it aside and focus on, you know, upcoming Charizard and Rocket Gang and all these other types of sets they're trying to do to pump Scarlet and Violet. So, you know, you just never know.
Yeah, and I don't think, you know, with the numbers right now, we're like, you know, not even halfway through the block. So, yeah, more to come.
Okay, so Walrus says it was old stock of 151 that flooded the market too before the reprint. So he's basically saying there was already a lot of it before the reprint. So
people were holding it. Like that's the only way for it to have reached 200 a box. People were just that bullish from the beginning, holding it. They hear there's going to be a reprint coming in May, in June.
But also, so dude, like
goodbye.
But people were bullish on celebrations, and that's like literally the most oversaturated shit that you can't even sell for $1 a holo, like 50 cents a holo.
The sealed is still expensive. That's the crazy part.
That's the thing. Like it's just a whole different.
The top cards are still incredibly liquid. The Gold Star Umbreon reprint and the Charizard base set, the starter base sets, those are selling tons raw and graded.
Yeah. I think just speaking practically, like if you can get it for like $50, 55 a box, you can always tax 70 at a show, 75 at a show, and just make money all the way up. It's like what Retro said. He's like, I'm just selling through what I have at a profit, and whatever I have left, I'm just investing or whatever. But I just think, like, I guess for the people that haven't bought any yet, I don't think there's like any rush for that. I really, really don't. I think like if you have more time sensitive flips, I would just do that.
Yeah, I think, you know, Dan said something in a video, maybe it was a week ago or something, where the average person is extremely fickle. with everything, with their collection, with the shit that's in their closet. The average person cannot hold this stuff, in their right mind when it's possibly thousands of dollars, across the course of many boxes, just in their closet. Like, they got bills to pay. The average person does not, they need that like $2,000 in Lost Origin boxes. So.
All right, let's take a hard pivot here. All right, we got a good question here. The homie Power says, new Team Rocket set to push WotC dark cards to the moon. Jesse James to the moon, Dark Charizard to the moon, Dark to the moon. Thoughts from the panel. Okay.
I mean, my first thought is like, there you'll see little spikes here and there. Like there was spikes with like when Celebrations came out. Like, oh, there's maybe a few more Donphan primes moving on the market, or just like people trying to spec on certain things. I'm sure that'll happen with the old WotC cards, but also I like to make an argument that they are completely separate things. Where they do kind of merge is when people are just typing in Team Rocket, like new people trying to find the new set, and Team Rocket just becomes I mean, obviously, like I bet we can pull up Google right now, like Google Trends. Team Rocket is probably being searched way more than it was before the announcement. So I think that helps get people to, get in that area, or like get in like everything that has that same search term. I wouldn't necessarily think the dark cards would be booming, but honestly, there's higher chances for dark cards to boom for the more popular Pokemon. Like there's a new Dark Charizard, people may be like, oh, I want to get the old one too. I'll just collect Dark Charizards now. So but I don't think that a lot of the people that are going to be into the new Team Rocket set with all its alt-arts and everything are necessarily going to be attracted to at the same level to the older cards as you might think.
Yeah, I don't really have an opinion. I mean, I think the fact here is that more people will search the word Team Rocket, and maybe there's some rich dudes that, type in Team Rocket that buy the, first dead 10s, but like vintage Rocket, especially on the market, it's kind of dark. Like there's a lot out there. It's competitive.
Bro, I personally think that Power Collectibles is 100% right. Now, what margin, and is it something that I want to buy now to flip then? I don't know about that. Like if it goes up 20%, 15%, is it even worth it? Like after fees, like to make little 5%, 10%, like, so it would have to like actually moon like for that, or like, for example, Dark Charizard Holo PSA 10 in Japanese. I saw it as low as like, I want to say 475 to 550 range. Now you can say, okay, that's a week 10. That's a dude that needed money. That's a low auction, yada, 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 yada. But 550 is still super cheap for a PSA 10, in my opinion. Dark Charizard Holo Japanese, yada, yada, right? Cool. Like that. I remember that card being over 1,000. I remember when it was 750. I remember when it was 7. So I just think there's a lot of them on the market, bro. I think that's what it is. Like, and then it's like, for me, okay, let's say I want to get that Dark Charizard right now just because I like it, and I want to get it now before it, moons because of this set's popularity. It's not going to fucking happen, because guess what? There's also an ocean of 9s. And, oh, you don't want a 9? The raws are 15. You just want a light plate copy, $20, $30. So there's just so much vintage, bro. And I think that's kind of what the issue is, It's like, not to be that guy, but going back to that graph, like all the demand that came in just ate through all that supply.
Yep.
But then as the supply came in, that graph has to start going down. So now we're at a point where there's an abundance of vintage, and people are like, why is vintage so cheap? It's like, dude, because everyone that wanted it has it, or got completely wrecked and left the hobby because they bought at the peak. Yep. And so like now it almost feels safer to play the modern game because it's happening now. And it's like, okay, if I get wrecked, we all get wrecked type of beat, But I do think, like, on a positive note, I do think this is gonna be an awesome set. And I guess I have a question for you guys. Is it gonna be Gen 1 or is it gonna be like this gen of Team Rocket? Because I think that changes things. Because if we
True.
have like Giovanni's Persian and Dark Charizard, but what if we get like Gay Duck, Dark Gay Duck, or like what's the other one? The crocodile at the mall,
Dark
like,
Sprigatito.
You're saying if like we aren't gonna get those.
I'm just saying, like, dudes, like, all I'm saying is, like, they might not be doing what you want them to do.
Yep.
They might be doing some other thing and bringing in Iono, Dark Iono Hollow or some shit. Like, I don't know, dude.
Well, there could even be people where it's like let's say there's just a new Dark Charizard Altart and it's $100. What if one guy is just like, oh, I'm tired of my vintage Charizard 9. I'm gonna sell that and just buy as many as the new card it'll afford. Because I just like that better and I'm tired of my old card. Like, I just don't want it anymore. So it's like this could even hurt vintage in a way too.
Here, let me pull it up. Or what if, like, Sleeping Charizard, like the one that we were talking about the other day, the full art Jackson, the one where it's like the green background and it's like whatever. That's super cheap. I think it's from like V-Star Universe.
Yep.
Or whatever. Okay. What if like they print so much of this set that the full art Dark Charizard just becomes another Sleeping Charizard and it's worth like 25? Like, it's what Jake is saying. Like, am I gonna spend 50 on a PSA 9 Japanese that's half art and mid, or am I gonna just get a full art Rocket Charizard like for 30? So it could just go the other way where people are like, this is just way better, way more affordable, and I'd rather have this full art. Yep. So yeah, it's hard to predict, man.
I don't know. There's a lot of Charizards. I mean, you even have like Obsidian Flames. I know the biggest hit in that set is like a Charizard EX, and I think it's like $40 because the Paldean Fates one is like the same shit.
I'll pull it up. I actually have one here. So I got a 9, unfortunately, and that's going for a cool $20 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is $20 right now. It's pretty cool card, but it's just, I don't know. It's not it. I don't know. This, like, if this exact same art was just dark, it would still be super mid. Like, they have to do something creative, I think. But Walrus says Team Rocket was Gen 1 and 2 in the games. It's going to be the new 151. Maybe, dude.
Because
I mean, yeah.
It's like Team Rocket doesn't go past Gen 2, right? Because remember, like, all the like Skull Gang and all these other ones I just don't even know the names of, but each generation of game or every other generation, it seems like they change the main bad guy. I think I'm right. Who knows?
New Dark Charizard could be the next Champions Path ETB promo. We don't know yet.
Yeah, it depends how much it's printed. I mean, I hope I really like what they did in like Sun and Moon and like I can't remember if they did in Sword and Shield where like the promo is an Altart. That'd be like something crazy too. Like, what if the ETB promo is the Dark Charizard Altart, and it is $6? Like you never like if it was in a set, it'd be so much more.
So yeah, I pulled up the Google Trends that you sent me for Rocket Gang, and yeah, it's spiked up quite a bit.
Yeah, and I was looking at the Team Rocket and some other search terms, but I'm not sure how accurate the Google Trends is. A lot of those trends are, well, the thing I saw with the trends is Team Rocket is just always very consistent. Like, it's just always in demand. So there's not really any spikes to really see other than Rocket Gang.
I mean, look, let's keep it real. Listen, we're gonna flip this shit out of this set. Let's just come here, bring it in for a second. No matter what they possibly put on the set, we are going to be flipping this set relentless. Okay, we can all agree here. All right. What, Jackson? What? You're not flipping the new Team Rocket set, dude? You got better things to do with your money?
Life is busy.
Okay.
All right, we need a new caller.
All right. Yeah, let's get this. All right. Look, big dog, here's the thing. We're running out of topics here, okay? But I do not want to end the call without flexing on you two broke boys for at least 2 minutes with my brand new Black Label. Yes. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Correct. I am the owner of a Pop 2 long neck English hat Charizard.
Burning Darkness.
Wow, this looks great. Wow.
It's terrific. Now, my thing is this. 2 questions. How many more Black Labels of this premium collection, dude? The dust of the dust. The most heavily printed shit potentially in the history of all time. Premium collection hat Charizard. How many more Black Labels will exist this year? There's currently 2 out of like 6,000 graded. Number 1. And number 2, not how much is it worth, how much you think I could get for this in a Black Label? And I'm asking the chat too, because these guys are going to gas me up and tell me 11,000. Chat, what is the realistic number that I can get for this bag?
I think by end of year, there's going to be 45.
Uh-huh.
I
45?
think
Are you dusted? There's a Pop 2.
I think you can get probably
the number you say directly reflects how much you care about me. So think hard.
I'm thinking about 8,300. Very rare. Never been seen before.
It's a Pop 2, big dog. And the other guy, I think he passed away. I think he like had it and he was in a plane crash. So I think this is the only one in the world, dude.
Again, for everyone watching, this will be available on Fanatics Marketplace. Just filter on Catchball Collectibles Collection and go ahead and bid.
Yeah, I mean, I already talked with you earlier about it, but to me, this one is a list for 3,000 and take 2,000. But I could be super overshooting that. It is how much is this card worth? $5 to $10. It might be.
Here we go.
Because it's
here we go.
Collection.
We give a round of applause to James for gassing up the homie with the 2,500. Thank you.
Love that number.
Love that number for me. Here's the thing, folks. From my analytical, mathematical perspective, a Black Label almost always goes for at least 8 to 10x. Now, as a regular PSA 10. PSA 10 of this card is $40. It's very dark, which puts us at a bottom floor of 400. Bottom floor. Absolutely not taking a dollar under 400. Now, because it's a Charizard, if you read it, you can read it. There's a premium for that. Yeah. Oh, you want to read your Black Label? I'm going to tax you 1,000. And because it's a Black Label, I'm going to tax you another 1,000. So that's going to leave us at 2,400 market speculative price. That's where I'm at. Yeah.
I like that.
Felipe says, I can pay you 10x what it's worth for a small fee. Okay.
Good offer.
That's, yeah, we'll take that. Let's see. Some dude said, I like how Nesty says Charizard. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that. Nice look. All right. Well,
it looks like everyone's saying 2,500-ish, except Walrus. Brad G said $500. That's pretty safe, I feel like.
500. Yeah, 500 is safe. Yeah, 500.
Obviously doesn't care very much about you, but cares a little bit more than Walrus does. Walrus
way more.
$25 under the 10x PSA 10 premium. What does that have to say?
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about Walrus, but it's okay. We're gonna ignore, live and let live. Okay, what are we doing with this, big dog? Are we grading Chinese?
Not a Detective Pikachu set. Oh no.
Are we grading Chinese, dude? Oh, this is kind of a bop.
That's a bopper, dude. Is this a new Chinese set? What set is this?
I don't know. I guess it says like simplified Chinese or something. Let's take a look.
Yeah.
But these are kind of fire though, dude. Let's take a look at these.
It's their Pokemon Go. Their Pokemon Go reprint.
Yo, these are pretty gas though.
I do have to tap out.
Oh, thanks for joining, dude. As always,
Bye, Jackson. Love you.
Later, dude. We'll talk to you soon, man.
See everyone. Everyone hit up Instagram at Card Crater, and then everyone hit up Instagram at Minty Mountain. Some of the most fire story sales and consignments available.
Let's go.
Oh, dude, we're in dire straits. We have to sell cheap. But yeah, Jackson, thanks for coming on, chat. Everybody give a round of applause for the homie. Yes. All right.
So what I've heard about the Chinese sets recently, and it came out like the first time I heard about it was this Radiant Venusaur in this Pokemon Go set that China's or Japan's reprinting for Chinese. They're doing new art inserts. So it's like this is the only print with this art on it, this Charizard.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. This would look real nice in a black label. So if I can get these for 25 cents, we're gonna spam these to Becky piece of shit and just lose endless amounts of money.
Endless, yeah. Because minimum, what was we were talking earlier? What is the minimum Charizard black label price?
So it's 10x PSA 10. So this PSA 10 is probably like 25. So it's minimum 250 plus Charizard tax.
I mean, the first ones are probably going to go for over 500, I'd say. Like,
easily.
That'd be a reasonable guess.
Easily, bro. The dust is so real. It's better than this. Kind of.
Very true.
I don't know.
No, not even kind of.
I like it more. Yeah. More traditional. But still half art. Don't get your hopes up, dude. But yeah.
Ooh, that wait, who did that Slowbro, dude? Look at that. No, the other one, the new one. That was in the other Pokemon Go set. Yeah, yeah, see, the original Pokemon Go set is I like it, but
yeah.
What are we doing?
I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. Like, I'm not mad at Chinese cards. I think that it's a good idea for them to have exclusive arts. I'm bullish on like Chinese prints if they continue to switch it up. Because it's like, what is the point of buying it in Chinese if I can't get anything special from it? You know what I mean? Like, at least once they get their Moonbryon, yeah, this is fire. But I'm saying this is not a Moonbryon. You get me? This is still like a barcode hollow kind of lower tier shit. But what happens when a Chinese alt art is actually desirable?
And it's exclusive too.
Exclusive. Right? For like some dust or some video game or like, what if they do like, well, bro, come on, man, let's turn the brain off, bro. What if they do the 3 starters jumping out of a trophy and it's a full art chase or whatever, you know, like they could do anything. And I don't know how much like leniency they have for their artworks, but the fact that they could, I mean, it's China, bro. They're gonna tell China nothing.
Well, they're trying to. Well, Japan is printing it. Yeah, that's fire. Like that's way better than the OG one.
Yeah, that's way better.
They're trying to expand into the Chinese market. So whenever you're expanding into a new market as well, you don't want to expand into that doing the same thing. You have to change it up for every new market. So getting a hold or getting some sort of new demand for the Chinese market, I think they're going in the right direction because this is a Chinese exclusive Radiant Venusaur. Yeah, it's not a Dark Charizard alternate art yet, but we're kind of seeing that direction kind of moving forward in that direction.
I think we got to keep an eye on that stuff. All right, let's move on to this. What are we thinking about this new world promo?
I like it a lot. Pikachu's on a surfboard. But what is that Bruxish? It's a Bruxish surfboard? I didn't even see that.
Listen, bro. I think what we gotta do is we gotta give it its due diligence. Let's tap in, bro. This is like some of the best arts that they drop every year. They really try. And like they've always had really good artists. Saito, OG, legend, straight up GOAT. So let's just give it its due diligence real quick. All right. First and foremost, we got Pikachu on a surfboard that also has a Pokemon on it. Okay.
I like that idea.
I really like that.
More Pokemon, you know. It's It's Pikachu riding. He's literally riding on Pokemon merchandise. Think about that in the
Wow,
picture.
dude. He's on a Bear Walker skateboard, fool.
Yeah, Bear Walker surfboard. The Bruxish. I can't even say that Pokemon's name. That edition.
Okay, then we got Raichu. He's surfing on his own tail.
A Alolan Raichu. So
That's
he's
next
always
level.
surfed on his tail.
Wait, because he's water?
I'm not sure,
Hmm.
but what the typing is, but that's how he came out was like even in the alt art and everything, he's riding his tail as a surfboard. That's just his lore. He just does that.
Who's the dolphin, dude? Forgive my ignorance, but who's the little dolphin?
I think is that the new Pokemon that evolves into the Palafin thing? You know, like the super buff, weird looking dolphin thing. So yeah, I think they did make a dolphin Pokemon recently.
I think it's dope. I think it'll hit. I like the Psyduck. I think this is pretty good.
The Psyduck is the sleeper here because he is so high up there without
He's
knowing.
usually wiping out though. He's not wiping out in this one, which is weird.
But like I feel like they're saying he's going to wipe out because do you think a Psyduck is going to land that trick?
No, definitely not.
Yeah. So I think that's like kind of cool that they're making you. It's a picture that makes you move your thoughts into the future, like what's going to happen next.
Yeah, it's an action pose for sure. It's better than this for sure.
Yeah.
I mean dude.
I honestly, I was never really that excited about this one. I don't know if it was like the Lapras being too prominent or what was going on, but this one's going to be fire because the Pikachu is very prominent.
What is this? Oh, okay, we've seen these already.
These are updates.
I don't think I saw the Persian. That's gas.
Yeah, we didn't go through the Persian or some of these other ones. This is still Night Wanderer, right? The one that we called the worst set of all time last episode.
The worst set of all time. Yeah, but I mean the Persians, that's pretty dope. I mean it probably won't sell, but
I like that.
I like it.
Like the little elephant too.
Yikes, dude, the ads are dark. Let's see, what else we got what else we got over here? Oh yeah, why don't we talk about Worlds a little bit, man? I mean, shit, we might as well talk about it. What percentage you think of you going to Hawaii for Worlds?
First, I have to land a ticket lottery, and I heard people were already getting accepted into that, but maybe that's just like creators and players. But I'm even waiting just to hear. And I think if I do hear that I do have it, it's probably a 10% chance, so it's really low. But
so even if you won the lottery, probably still 10% to go.
Yeah, I mean, I would want to stay with someone there where I wouldn't have to buy an expensive place to stay, or go into it with other people. But I don't really know many other people that are going. Everyone's still kind of up in the air. So, but I think Hawaii would be sick. I'm not sure how much I would enjoy a Worlds, but I've never been to one, so I can't really tell you that. But I think seeing all this like exclusive stuff and all the stuff Pokemon has set up, I mean, they usually do some pretty cool stuff. So it definitely wouldn't be boring.
Wasn't Hawaii where they did the first one?
Tropical Mega Battle. I think that was Hawaii.
Because I would imagine they would do like some really, really cool stuff, you know, just bringing it back to the essence.
The promo is already crazy good. And then they just put flippers and snorkeling gear on a Pikachu. Huh? With his little goggles? Little snorkel? Little flippers, dude?
He's a little flipper. Shit, I never put that together. Oh, no.
What?
Oh, dude. Easy thumbnail.
Yeah, dude. It's one of the best. It's one of the best Worlds promos and one of the best plushes.
So what I've been told, and I could be wrong because I don't have like firsthand experience, but what I've been told is that Hawaii's pretty expensive, and so like it's kind of one of those like tourist traps kind of spots where everything's like $17 for a drink and stuff, and like if I really wanted to go to beautiful beaches, I'd probably just go to Cuba, honestly, because I feel like in Cuba I'd be able to get just a way better value. You know what I mean? Um, but also the tournament, I mean, it's not in Cuba, it's in Hawaii. So, and also there's like the artist signings. I know Jimeno's gonna be there, Arita's gonna be there. Like, bro, I would not be surprised if Sugi makes an appearance. I would not be surprised.
That's true.
Actually, I would be surprised. Sugi ain't coming to no.
Yeah, that's true. But it's like you did put it in a way where is this the 20? When was the? I gotta look up when the first Worlds was, because I mean, if it's like the 25th anniversary and it's like the original spot, all this sort of stuff. I mean, I wouldn't put it out of the question. I mean, I doubt Sugi would be doing SIGs, but he might show up. You can maybe like kidnap him and get him to do some SIGs, but let's see. First Worlds.
Maybe you can share screen since I kind of stepped away for a quick second. We can also read some of the comments. We've kind of been sleeping. Chevy said, I like that Indonesian Victrini full art. Did they print it in another language yet?
No, that one's Chinese. No, it's Indonesian. They haven't printed that in any other language. It was just a tournament trophy or promo. You know which one he's talking about? The one with like the Gengar in the background and it's like orange.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Victrini.
Yeah, Victini.
I mean,
the
look,
first
yeah.
Pokemon World Championships began in 2004, so this is the 20th anniversary. Uh-oh. I mean, if there's one to go to, dude, you don't need a passport to get there or not.
How far?
You just need money.
Yeah, but I think
on a 15-hour flight.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Walrus is right though. Sugi's not gonna go to Hawaii if he didn't go to Japan. You feel me?
True.
And then
yeah, you'd think that.
You know what I'm saying? He's not going. If he was in Japan, he would have showed up to Japan. I mean, that's a good point.
That's a very good point. But also, he's got a vacation too. Maybe Japan is just like meh to him, and he's just like, I'm in Japan all the time. Why would I need to go to Japan Worlds? But yeah, he's probably too.
So hectic, bro.
Yeah.
So hectic. Like for him, I mean, anyway, I don't even know what we're talking about Sugi. I guess just seeing even some of the lower tier artists would be awesome. Like, you know, even if we got like 3-4 artists and maybe like you couldn't get everyone SIG, but everyone was guaranteed a SIG. Like that'd be kind of dope too. Like maybe, okay, yeah, maybe you don't run good and you don't get a Jimeno. Maybe you get an Arita, which obviously is like less valuable, yada yada. But it's still a SIG, and it's like if the line is only an hour and a half, and you're guaranteed a SIG, I feel like people would then could potentially trade them, and like people would be happy with that, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the solution to a SIG event is just having more artists. But then again, it's like you're gonna have to pay the artist less, right? Logically, but less work. I don't know. I don't know how fun it is for a reader to sign 10,000. You know, I don't know. Anyway, you get me.
It's got to be brutal, but I mean, yeah, just as far as like paying them too, like I wonder what if one Sugimori even does public anything, and two, what it would cost just for his security detail to keep him safe before and after the con. Because it's like people were chasing Arita into his hotel when they weren't able to get their signatures from him in Orlando that one time. What is Sugimori's potential exposure to danger when his signature is worth $5,000 plus, $10,000?
Yeah, on any common.
Yeah, so just thinking about the security for that is just an automatic nightmare, especially him trying to go to a foreign country as well.
Yeah, I mean the way to do it, if you were Sugi, the way to do it is to have prints. You would just pull up with like 1,000, 2,000 limited prints for the Honolulu event. Maybe you do if you want to go the extra mile, you can do a new drawing, but most likely you just throw stock Sugi on a print. You charge $60 for the print and the SIG or whatever, $100, and you walk out of there with half, right? So if you made 60, 70 bands, you give half to the place and you get out of there with 40K. Like I could see Sugi doing prints, but I guarantee you he's not gonna sit there and like get a hand cramp for what? Like he's
Oh, yeah.
not.
I mean, I could see him doing prints without signatures. Because as soon as people hear word that, oh, you can pay 60, 100, even $500 for a Sugimori signed print, there's going to be an enormous security risk of people trying to get in and get in line, fight in line, run over each other. Like people are going to go crazy if there's a Sugi Sig available in limited quantity for that price under market. So it's like you would have to only do prints without any signatures for an event like that to be even remotely safe without hiring extra security.
But dude, do you remember that part of the value of going to one of these Worlds events is to pick up merch too? Like we're over here thinking about a SIG because we like SIGs, but bro, we can buy plushies and 2X. We could buy shirts and 2X. We could, I mean, they might have like another limited skateboard or another limited, whatever, dining room set and like whatever, like they're always doing stuff like that. Um, so I don't know. There'll be money to be made even here. I was thinking, and I know I'm just kind of like thought dumping, but I was thinking, remember how we were able to get some of the World Championship stuff from Japan? Well, this shit is not in Japan. So if you don't go, you can't just get it on Merc. Like we're not going to this one. Like I don't like like last year we still got stuff. This year we're not gonna get nothing. So it's potentially gonna be way more expensive. Like a plushie from this event, the first one that hits eBay, dude, is gonna do 200.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because people are like thirsty, and then the same thing that always happens. Is this the last one that's ever gonna pop out? Like it's the same shit every time. So I I think it might be plus EV to go, fool. You walk out of there with a SIG, you walk out of there with some champions promos, a couple paradise resorts, some plushies and some merch, and I'm pretty sure you pay for your trip. But
yeah, true. That is true. It's just like because even going to Hawaii is just so daunting for the average person, and a lot of people just never even leave their houses. That it's like the people that are going to be printing off this event are people that live in Hawaii that can easily access the event, and people that are spending thousands on plane tickets to get over there, and from whatever country.
Philippe says,
So
you chase a Rita in a hotel once and no one lets you live it down.
Nope. That's forever going to be like an event in Pokemon signing history.
No, you can't judge
You're
a
part
man
of
by
history.
Can't judge a man by his lowest point,
That's true.
We forgive you. We forgive you, Philippe. It's cool, bro. But I don't know. Honestly, I'm probably not gonna go. But I think I should. I think it would be plus EV. Like I think for us, if you've ever thought about going to Hawaii, it's like a pretty good excuse to go. Because number one, I'm not gonna have friends in Hawaii any other time. When am I gonna go to Hawaii and have all my friends there, right?
Mm-hmm. True.
So like you get me. Like if you went and Weedle went and I went and three more people went, then it would be lit. It would be fun, You just be at Hawaii. So
maybe try to stay a little longer too, depending, because it's like to go in and out flights to Hawaii is pretty rough. Like you can do it to Houston or Chicago. Like I'm in on Friday, I'm leaving Sunday night. But it's like if you're spending the flight time it takes to get to Hawaii and back, the time difference and everything, you got to give yourself like a week or something, unless you're just like fully doing it for work. Like I'm going in, I'm buying as many plushies from the event as possible, buying it off as many other people as possible, and you're just really just doing that with the promos and everything else they have to offer there, and just full work tripping it. That's possible too, but it's like I've never been to Hawaii, so it's like if I'm going to Hawaii, I'd want to be with friends and have fun and do interesting things, not just do work the whole entire time, make money plus pay for the trip. I'd rather just like chill, have fun, maybe break even for the trip after selling stuff and just kind of use it to pay for the trip. But who knows, maybe once you get there, you just go full demon mode anyways. You can't really control your path when that sort of thing happens. Cause it's like, if the Pikachus are selling for 300, 400, 500, if it's a limited print Pikachu, we don't really know any of the details. Then it's like, oh, then, you know, you got to turn on the work because you can't just let thousands be passed up. But so it's even hard to tell what we'd even do in Hawaii at this point in time, much less making it there. But I hope to make it. That would be really fun if we all get tickets and everything. But
yeah, I mean, yeah, dude. I mean, there's so many other things. There's like, there's always opportunity. There's always something going on. I know some of the homies are going to card party this weekend, and like I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of stories from there. And dude, I don't know. I mean, I guess, is there anything else that's like on your mind, or anything you want to like, anything interesting that I guess any hobby thoughts that are interesting that you can recall from the last couple of days?
I mean, I got a pretty good sub back today from PSA where I had a bunch of cracked cards, and me cracking them made me money. So it's like, it'd be nice if it would make me money the first time around, but it's like, I guess what I learned is like, I'm on the right path, even though like, I'm like, oh, this is probably a bad idea to crack this card, keep that money from the original purchase, plus the original grading fee, plus the new grading fee, plus an additional month on top of it. But I'm doing it very selectively with cards that it still make, like the PSA 10 premium still makes sense to, I guess, put all that aside. But yeah, cracking is working mainly on my own stuff. I haven't really reached out and bought stuff that I think I can crack myself. I have enough crack at home. I don't need to be reaching out for crack.
Buying crack on the street, you have at home?
Yeah, I'm not there yet, but yeah, I guess that's kind of like my main thing. It's just more business stuff. That's, the business is just changing, and you just have to adapt when they're hiring so many new people that don't know how to grade. But it is what it is.
I'm trying to think. If there's like anything else, but
Becky hit you back, dude. Turns out you never should have left her.
No, I think overall, like,
think she's lying about.
no.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you can go on a Beckett heater and just cook super hard, but I also think if you just crush with PSA, just slow and steady, you make that 30%, 40% with PSA forever, bro. Like, it just feels way more consistent. But also, there's stuff that doesn't even like make sense to send to PSA, you know. But I also think, like, and I always want to make this clear, like, when people show you their black labels, they're not showing you the endless 9.5s that lay barren all over their table. You know, it's like, it's kind of like the Instagram flex culture where it's like, oh, this guy has black labels, but it's like, he also has a lot of 10 pristines and 9.5s that cost money and that won't move as easily. So
yeah,
I think Beckett is like a casino, pretty much, like we said at the beginning. I am a gambler and I do like to send there, but like, it's, I don't know. It's weird, bro. It's weird because it really can make an impact, but you kind of forget about all the months that you broke even and tied up money on 9.5s. So it's hard to say.
Yeah, like a lot of the times, if you're grading modern, getting a PSA 9 is better than getting a 9.5 as far as liquidity and everything. So it's like when you're losing at the Beckett slot machine, no matter how much you pre-graded the card or looked at the centering, measured the centering, you're still pulling that lever of the gamble. And it seems to me still that the Beckett losses are worse and less liquid than the PSA losses.
I agree.
But damn, the highs are crazy at Beckett. That's for sure. When you hit the jackpot, you sell quick and high. So it's pretty crazy.
Also, there's more angels. There's way more angels that come and save you from the 9s when you have a PSA 9. Like, yeah. Like somebody will pay for it, but like Bro, I've had nines that just don't do well. And I if you get a Beckett 8 or below, oh my Lord, bro. Welcome to like darkness, actually. So I'm not a huge fan, whatever. Let me
Yep.
see. Kai says all tarts are nice, but OG art from 99 to 2003 are the best in my opinion. Oh, that was Sard lurking. Um, yeah, I mean that's what I like too, man. I like 99 to '03. Yeah, that's pretty much. But I also like before 99 too. I like a lot of older art, and I like the like a lot of the DBC art. It's like 1991, and then some of the sketches and like cell what is it called? Cell uh animation cells or whatever. Like those are even older. So I'm definitely a fan of the vintage artwork. But
Yep.
I don't
I
know. I mean,
used to
some of the
be.
new stuff is good. Some of the new stuff is good though. What?
Yeah, that's the thing too. Is like I'm stuck in a hard place because I do traditionally like the especially 2002 2003 E series art. Like I think it's some of the best concepts and execution done by artists like in any media. Like they just really came together and knocked it out of the park. But then it's like also I do think a lot of alt arts are way cooler looking and it covers the whole card and it's so shiny and high quality, especially with Japanese texture and everything.
All right. So
But also, it's like a
before,
print that's printed like hundreds of thousands of times, so there's like no sort of exclusivity to it. So it's
okay,
kind of
so
a hard place.
tell me your three favorite alt arts, and then we'll get out of here. What? Tell me your Jake Smith three favorite alt arts as far as not as a business, not as a
Mm,
business,
not as a
as a
business.
human, as a you being a fan of the art.
Um, Galarian Slow King.
Yeah, maybe I can learn something, bro, because I'm super out of it.
This is not business, by the way. This is
As
not
not as a
business
business.
talk. This
Okay.
is like if I could own the original artwork, like you could basically put it that way. Like if you owned the original artwork, the original print, what top three alt arts would you own? No matter what the Pokemon is, it's just like your art style preference. Um, this one's big for me, and then I
Hmm.
probably I think it's underrated, but I just like it. The Slowpoke Psyduck alt art, and then I'm
Hmm.
gonna be super normie and say the Giratina alt art for third.
Yikes.
Yep, super normie.
Okay, I think I know which one you're talking about. That one is really good though. Okay, so this is the other one.
Yeah, it's just
You
like
like this?
I like the way that it's so different from other alt arts because the way it's Miki Tanaka, right? The way that
Yeah.
they draw, it's very un-alt art. Like it's almost like
Mm.
the bubble Mew to me, where it's like
Hmm.
it's so simple for so much space that it like really stands out to me. Um,
Yeah.
but then the other
And
two that I picked are like some of the most crazy, fill in every single space with lines and texture ever with
hmm
the Galarian Slowking in this one. So
this one
just
is pretty amazing. Really cool.
yeah.
These like white, like kind of like water little droplets dropping off of it and stuff. It's a really cool art.
Mhm.
It's really well done. But I mean, like I agree with you that this is one of the best alt arts.
Mhm.
Um, it's just it's very packed with substance, I guess, and the colors are
Mhm.
very interesting. Um, it also kind of portrays the character in a simple way. Um,
Yep.
it's it's weird though, man. It's weird. I don't think this would be a card I would collect though. I think maybe it's just
Right.
my bias or whatever, but maybe it's just I don't have a connection to this gen. But it's not it doesn't draw me in. I
What are your three?
I I
What's your
don't know,
favorite out of
dude.
my three picks? And then what are your three?
I think out of the three, my favorite is the Slow King.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, just because it's so weird looking and different, and like you can tell it was done with a colored pencil. which I like. It's just he's deep. He's being devious. He's looking over there. Something's going on, and then like there seemed to be some sort of like language in the water too, which is kind of weird. It's just a trippy card. I like it a lot more. It just makes me think more about stuff versus like when I think about the Giratina, it's just like okay, it's a lot like a Sugi like stock art. It's like that's a Giratina, that's a background. It hits. It's wonderful, but it's just kind of like it's just a 2D. It's not. It doesn't put me in a world, I guess.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But I do like it, and it definitely hits in person. Like I've seen this card in person. It's awesome. So it's not my least favorite, but
I really like. I guess my fourth would probably be the Aerodactyl, and those two are from the same set, which is maybe I need to be buying the Lost Abyss reprint. Yeah. What are your top three?
Dude,
ones that come to your head first that I guess
you would be surprised how little I know about alt arts. Because I just like haven't really put the time into it. This one is one that I always thought was really cool.
Yeah, I like that one.
It's kind of like the same city as the Sunset Mew, right?
Yeah, the Machamp V and Sunset Mew one. Yeah, I mean it's I don't. It's probably not the same artist, but it's definitely whatever that town is. That what do you call that type of architecture? It's like multiple levels with balconies.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. So here, this one I like a lot too. This one I've always
that one too. Really dope. Yeah.
It just kind of puts you somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they're like training together, and I guess they're all just kind of. I think all those Pokemon have fighting moves. It's interesting that the Empoleon is being. I don't know if like his lore, he's kind of like a karate or more of a bruiser type guy, or if he's one of the water Pokemon that are more like Inteleon, shooting you with water far away. I don't really didn't play those games.
Okay, I got a question. So is this on Altart? Oh wow, this is insane, dude. Look, you're not gonna believe what I just found. Wow, that's funny. So I just randomly clicked on this link and it's like an Altart tier maker.
Oh no.
That's insane, dude.
Yeah, it's got all of them.
Well, I don't know. I don't really want to do this right now, but it's kind of cool that we have all of them right here, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy. What a great
I've always liked the Glaceon V. I always thought that one was cool. Dude, it's I don't know. It's cool. I like the Sleepy Chart. I don't know. There's a bunch of cool ones. I mean, all right, man. Well, I think we're good for the day, Big Derg. I do gotta go walk Millers. Thank you for joining me, bro. Another episode of Joker Hour providing the content. Definitely not doing the tier list. James is funny.
Oh boy.
I got a puppy trying to go outside, but yeah, man. As always, pleasure talking to you, Big Derg, and
yes, sir. You too.
Catch me in traffic, bro.
Hopefully, I'll be driving. All right, talk to y'all.
Peace.